The last aspect of why design matters that I want to go over is how design communicates care and credibility on the part really of the designer to the receiver or your audience. Now, one large study with over 2,000 respondents looked at consumer judgments of website credibility, and that data showed that the average consumer paid far more attention to the superficial aspects of a website, such as visual cues, their layout, their typography, their font choices, their color scheme, than to its content. The same study found that the design look of the site was mentioned most frequently in comments about credibility. Specifically, 46.1% of the comments about credibility mentioned the design look of the website. It's important to note, really, that often looking good is interpreted as being good and being credible. So how long do you think it takes people to decide if something looks good? So here it is. Another study found that users make significant judgments based on aesthetic factors in only 3.42 seconds. These are quick, visceral judgments that are happening as soon as we see something. So this means that as soon as your course materials or your presentation slides are deployed, your students have judged them on a credibility basis. The most important finding of the study was that regardless of how low a credibility rating was given to a website, some type of aesthetic treatment or improvement increased the rating of the same content in 19 out of 21 cases, so that's out of 90%. So in other words, when the same content is presented using different levels of aesthetic treatment, so it would be better font choices, better layout, things like that, the content with the better designs was judged as having a higher credibility. So as educators, you may have the best content in the world in your course, but if the designs are lacking, your students may judge them as being less credible. So we are going to move in now to the how in the rest of this course. How do we leverage design? How do we do good designs? How do we make good designs? And that's what we're going to learn starting in our next module about Principle 1, Less is More.